Nonetheless, however slow, however hard to pinpoint, there is a transition. A pattern of drug use that was perfectly ordinary shifts. Whatever the benefits of drug use, they no longer easily balance the costs. These costs include the loss of jobs, housing, educational opportunities, standing in one's community, and in jurisdictions that criminalize drug possession, basic freedom. The loss of people and relationships, colleagues, friends, family, parents, children. The loss of health, both physical and mental. Feelings of shame, grief, despair, self-loathing. The distress of self-opacity, of not being able to make sense of one's behavior to oneself. Sometimes even the ultimate loss of life itself. I asked why people ordinarily use drugs, and the answer was straightforward. People use drugs because they have tremendous value. But now suppose we ask, why do people use drugs despite costs such as these? Whatever benefits of drug use remain in addiction, these costs are so evident and so severe that using seems in no way worth it, and yet people with addiction persist. This is what I will call the puzzle of addiction, from the basic psychological perspective that we use to understand ourselves and others. Drug use in addiction is no longer easily intelligible because the costs appear to have become so evident and severe that whatever the benefits, the balance seems to have tipped. Drug use looks to be destroying a person's life. It looks to be starkly counter to their own good. It thereby appears to violate a basic psychological assumption we make when explaining behavior, namely an assumption of self-concern. We ordinarily take people to be guided by a concern for their own good, where this is broadly construed to include not only what is good for them, considered in complete isolation, but also what is good for the people and things they care about, that is, the people and things their own good is woven together with and hence dependent upon. Drug use in addiction appears to flout this assumption of self-concern. How then to understand what a person is doing? How to explain why a person is persisting in using drugs when doing so seems so counter to their own good, in no way worth it? I am not the first to articulate something like this puzzle. In particular, addiction researchers inspired by behavioral economics often see addiction in somewhat similar terms, namely as a puzzle of irrationality. This is because drug use in addiction appears to violate the classic economic assumption that we act rationally insofar as we maximize expected utility. Despite the apparent tip in the balance from benefits to costs, people with addiction keep using drugs. How could this be rational? How to explain it if it's not?